All right, so I have a few thank yous I'd like to start with. Thank you to the University of Kentucky for hosting the TOC and the Policy Tavern for running the division. I would like to give a most sincere thanks to all of our teammates who provide essential support networks through their hard work, collaboration, and general kindness. In particular, those who are with us this weekend, Emma, Mahika, Lucas, and Jacob. Thank you to our coaches, Mr. Pipkin, DML, Mr. Fry, Mr. D, and Dr. Greenstein for all of the countless hours you spend taking us to tournaments, doing research, teaching us, and helping us become better at our craft. I'm proud to say that you are the best coaching staff in the country. A quick shout out to our opponents. Congratulations on making it this far in the tournament. I also want to thank my parents for being supportive of me, as well as my siblings, Matthew and Sam. We all know how much time and energy it takes to debate, and a loving family who believes in me makes all this possible. Lastly, I want to thank my partner, Ethan. Ethan, debating together the last 3 years has been a privilege and an honor. I've had an absolute blast, and I want you to know how much of an impact you've had on me, our team, and the entire community.
So like Joe, I'd also like to thank the University of Kentucky and the Policy Tavern staff for an excellent tournament. I'd like to give a thank you to all of our teammates. It's the best group anyone could ask for. Joe thanked our other students here, so I want to thank our seniors back home, Matthew, Fez, Andrew, Kristen, Miles, Zerar, and Aiden. You all have made this journey unforgettable, and I really love our team. Coaches, I could never thank you enough. Fry, DML, Jordan, you all have made a lasting impact on our team, and I'm really glad you're part of our staff. Dr. Greenstein, thank you for teaching us the last 4 years, putting up with our shenanigans and creating an environment that is enjoyable and maximizes our ability to succeed. Pipkin, you're truly an amazing coach. You've been there every step of the way the last 4 years, and I've really enjoyed every moment of your help, support, and guidance. I'd like to thank my mom and my sisters for the endless support and love. Finally, Joe, thank you for being the best partner anyone could ask for. You've stepped up time and time again and have been critical to every win. Most of all, you're an outstanding friend at a debate, and I'm sad that this is our last round together.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay. All right. Before we start, I want to take a moment to thank the people who made this possible. First, thank you to the TOC and everyone who helped organize and run this event. The TOC is the best this activity has to offer, and we are really grateful for the chance to compete here. We especially want to thank the University of Kentucky debate staff, David Arnett, Adrian Rivero, Kelsey Johnson, Hunter McCullough, Devon Murphy, and Kathy Paquette. Thank you for the work you do to make this tournament possible. I also want to thank our school, especially Dr. William Daughtry, our head of school, for supporting an activity that means so much to us. Also, thank you to GBN, Ethan, and Joseph, and their coaches as well. It's a privilege to debate a team of this caliber in a round like this. We've debated many times this year, and it's a privilege to debate you all again. We also want to thank our families, especially our parents, for their support, encouragement, and sacrifice. We would not be here without them. Now, I want to shout out a few of the coaches at FBA. Coach Clark for being the voice that leads our teams to the greatest heights. Coach Brown for encouraging me to do quality research, scrapping the many funny app ideas that I had in my head, and leading me to light to good TAC construction. Coach Bunton for teaching us the wisdom of debating with depth, knowledge, and detail. Your cards, despite being the longest cards I ever read, are some of the best research this team will ever see. Coach Lev for keeping me up with speech work, clarity, and redos, turning me from not getting any speaker award at most tournaments to getting almost always top 5 and top 10 at the TOC at basically every tournament. Coach Hemrick for helping our team run smoothly, judging debates, giving us helpful old man's advice useful even to this day. Coach T for being the best, most enthusiastic pre-round inspiration I have ever had before any finals, including SBF, and now at this tournament. I didn't have the chance to go to many tournaments with you, but every time your energy and enthusiasm has taught me invaluable lessons. Our assistant coaches, Ike and Danny, the College Debate Kings winner of the COPA and DTM GS, for providing us with innovative insights, updated research, from a counterplan with a 1-minute text to the minutia research on Worming Good. We could not have finished off this year with our first place victories without your help. Rishi for sending me all those articles and books that I failed to pirate from Z Library and Anna's archive late at night, just so that I could update my files with cards from 2026, or, yeah, I don't want to say that. Genevieve, your research and case next strategies are meticulous and deep. Your insight on strategy has led us to many of our successes this year. Your K-Snags have single-handedly helped us snipe some of the best teams in the country, and my appreciation for your help cannot be described in words. Our alums, Arish, you have been a great partner last year and gave me so many great insights and advice throughout the season. JY for being our strat stab expert, psychoanalysis guy, and cutting wonderful case snags. Our teammates, Reese and OJ, your unwavering dedication in our team discussions keep me on my toes, forcing me to do my very best in innovating and researching. Fox and Eno, I will forever miss the 30 blanket advantage counterplans you write against me every time we debate you. The Minecraft sessions you hosted during our debate meetings is both fun and funny. Tate and well, I know debate is hard, but your unwavering enthusiasm for this team in the face of losses has been incredible. Keep up your effort for next year. I can see your debate career going to new heights. Lastly, Russell, for fighting and debating with me throughout this year until now. From the wild 2&C counterpoint ideas, the shunning K, to exuding niche impact terms, to always going back to the core of the topic politics is that I had the most fun in my AF and neg rounds all this year because of you. We've adapted to all kinds of judges, from the psychoanalysis fanatics at Blake to a judge who would vote down 0.1 seconds of vagueness at Glenbrooks, who I may or may not want to mention. Without your unwavering effort, energy, and creativity, I could not be here today. Now, victory waits!
So first, I just want to echo what Jimmy's just said. Thank you to Kentucky, our school, coaches, parents, and teammates. First, I'd like to thank my parents more specifically. They've been utterly invaluable throughout my debate career. They've watched all my rounds at the Southern Bell Forum, supported me throughout this activity in every way possible. I mean, I don't know if any debate parent knows more than my mom and dad about counterplans, even Ks. I also want to shout out my teammates, specifically our 5 seniors, Reese, Oliver, Fox, and me and Jimmy. This is your moment just as much as it is for us. I'm going to miss all the time that the 5 of us got to spend together over the last 6 years, and whether it be in practice, in canes after practice, or just hanging out on the weekends, this activity and the time we spent together will not be forgotten. I'd like to thank my friends who have made this activity worth coming back to over the past 6 years. Iman, Wallace, Jordan, Ethan, everyone in BFHR over the past few years, all the lab leaders I've had over the years, Bricker, Dana, Forty, Cahern, AU, Zahir, Tellis, Gabe, Shantae, Katz, perhaps I'm forgetting a few. Doing something this long wouldn't be sustainable without some people to share it with. So I'm immensely grateful for everyone who supported me along the way, and some of whom I've debated. Of course, I'd like to thank our worthy opponents, GBN. It's been an honor to be a rival for you all this year, and we've debated a few times, and it's always really fun and exciting. And I think we have some of the most creative debates over the course of the season, so I'm looking forward to do this one last time. Jimmy, thank you for one heck of a year. I mean, you always keep me on my feet, even if I don't ask for it. And I couldn't ask for anyone more hardworking and compelling and committed to winning as you. And I wouldn't do it with anyone else. Now let's go. Let's see. Yeah, probably. Okay. How many sheets? 2. Oh. You sent it and everything?
I started a.
Oh wait, yeah, I forgot. It's like it's like kind of paper up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Russell, you ready?
Yeah, I'm good.
Jimmy, you're good?
Yeah.
Daniel?
Contention 1 is continuing to Trump revoke the existing NOP in place to XO 13840, removing the requirements for federal participation planning necessary to promulgate strong inter-level coordination goals. 20 Obama directed to establish RBPs, bring together agency states and tribes to coordinate planning and management except at the national level. Trump revoked NOP to institute XO 1384, emphasize economic security interests. Trump climate change not use suspended RPPs, remove requirements for federal participation, own planning endeavors. That is de facto eliminated planning, regional effort success, but our toothless absent federal backing. A new ROP is key to reasserting federal leadership over marine sustainability goals. 20 lack of support told efforts for inclusion and comprehensive marine planning, piecemeal approach, eliminated future state federal support to drive planning. Lack has been a major stepping to comprehensive ocean planning. Nullify and replacement federal progress constitute transformative governance. Contention 2 is governance. Indigenous values are imperative to governance of the Bering Strait region. While the application is lackluster in the scope, the plan ensures agency innovation of planning policy, necessary to optimize policy, remedy opportunities from existing actions, informing improve policy in the BSR, and more full development integrated NBCRA provides an example of informing policy, bringing value system important role in maintaining resilience to receive to agency procedural consultation. Extra revoked by Trump NPRB has the social science component. It includes ANOs, involve community representatives to involve science to identify mechanisms and processes that structure marine ecosystem, understand ocean planning and policy. Expansion of research effort crucial to moving towards sustainable ocean planning and policy. Failures are otherwise inevitable. Remedy beyond indigenous peoples in the BSR give a vision for many ocean priorities based on a proven indigenous approach. Successfully private tribes have not adequately included needed for skills of governance, lack of appropriate analysis towards maladaptive policy. Now, ocean planning efforts to address dramatic change, equitable framework for collaboration planning for the change. Federal dialogue is key. Alternative process, diminished indigenous contributions to ocean planning. Remedy beyond 18 policy to action now. Planning proceed under current administration. Federal government support engage interested tribes once in one governance. Often exclude marginalized sections of society. Trumps to appropriate their necessity and equitable role. Expertise should be tapped to inform policy as process as important as outcome. Federal government has an obligation to consult, encourage decision-making, recommend, not mandate agencies consult. Every agency is responsible for consultation and policies. Few requirements make policies that require the use of traditional knowledge, ongoing challenge development, and addressing research questions from a TK lens rather than solely based on research perspective. The federal relationship is unique and unreplicated by any other actor. It's key to guiding federal policy and promoting arctic resilience. Bond Q20, indigenous people develop initiative view ecosystem, a holistic component of food security, along with the right to plan indigenous officers play a central role in marine policy. Bearing tribes unique legal relationship with the federal government, including federal agencies, federal responsible for legal for conservation, federal bearency, experiencing dramatic unpredictable impacts on climate change, ocean warming, also CS technology shifts, and myriad of other impacts. Okay, communities have been shown we have to be an active partner with agencies, informs economic, ecosystem health development, societal well-being, growth, resilient, and sustainable Arctic communities. Extinction, knowledge acquisition alone is key to existential response strategies. Parallel 22 catastrophic environment, economic, culture impacts. Arctic's foreign planet, REC, ice injection, freshwater, soda, and global ocean currents less able to cool oceans causing atmosphere temperatures to rise planets complex existential crisis. Bering Sea richest ecosystem cascading communities on St. Lawrence Island retain at the highest level of knowledge how to maintain the balance in marine ecosystem. World might look more deeply to self-determined force to address the existential threat that's facing humanity irreversibly alter the planet's climate. Arctic Bering Sea region close connection offer a lens into the intricacy of Arctic marine ecosystem. Thermostat for global weather depend on seasonal synchronization of essential biological intricate understanding of food webs, understand the sophisticated relationship of the Bering Sea's marine life, genetic ecological balance, in its boundary disruptions, collapse, the marine overturning circulation, geography, the Arctic important source of North Atlantic species and multi-decadal variabilities. Bering Strait only connection with the Pacific. Arctic contributes to knowledge from modulating multi-decadal variabilities, actively interact with MOC, dynamics weaker than configuration without the Bering Strait influences the strength of Arctic circulation, mitigates sold adaptation and feedback. It's the largest internal link in the first causal Yaoqing 23. Without the Bering Strait cannot sustain oscillations, baroplanic instability due to strong horizontal density near the gradient dominated by salinity. The strong Bering Sea transport, therefore strong MSC factor, strong freshwater tongue anomalies grow and propagate, weakening the MSC Bering Strait transport. Arctic channels reestablish freshwater, establishing a slow recovery of the MSC world. Bering Strait modulating multi-decadal variability practices unappreciated Bering Strait influences the temperature of the MSC, providing negative feedback play, synonym prone role sustaining multi-decadal variability. MSC that outweighs all causes. They set the break and make BSR governance of the most important suits. 25 BSC significantly affect AMOC stability. Critical hosting as AMOC decreases causes BSC to decrease or even to reverse export freshwater as stabilizing mechanism for effective AMOC. Causality is empirically proven. Jiaoqing 23 Bering Sea plays a direct role in the stability of the AMOC influences freshwater distribution by sea ice formulation and retreat freshwater export. Dramatic efforts to glacial periods related to abrupt change occurred during a Bering Strait was closed. Important component freshwater, largest component that volume throughout that caused extinction and global instability. Man's 25 future so much colder Bering farming is strong. Rapid cooling fish stocks have collapsed. Extremes between more extreme AMOC. Water from tropics to north conveyor belt represents most of the heat may pass the tipping point where there's no return with massive planetary scale disasters, certainly global damaging most vital ecosystem, food security, people in Africa, Asia, heat waves, worse in UK, fundamentalist habitable IPCC downplaying the risk, existential threat over. Look, AMOC shuts off completely. It collapsed the Amazon. Carrington 23 Gulf Stream system collapse. AMOC very catastrophic impact side of a tipping point processing extreme concerning and Amazon and Antarctic issue. We should be very worried. Amazon defo cause extinction. First 17 Brazil's Amazon defo imports to life throughout the world. Impacts include strong carbon avoiding global warming, recycling water import for rainfall, not Amazonian, and maintaining biodiversity because the distribution of species that uniform last. Force and heavily deforest areas central variety to remaining force gives additional importance because they can result in much greater future emissions, much greater, more potential impact compared to other countries. The Amazon outposts Brazil's regional diplomacy. Butler, 19 Amazon outposts Brazil's sovereignty, turning food, water, and energy security, supporting good relations, generating rainfall, access to water pump beyond the borders of the Amazon, disrupting catastrophic for water scarcity. Act from the Amazon, South America's agricultural hotline challenge, energy security come from hydropower disruption, not going to affect good relations with neighbors, national security benefits from services afforded to healthy and productive Amazon degradation, become a source of friction between Brazil and its neighbors, disrupting ecological function, disrupting economic foundation of Brazil. Brazil diplomacy averts extinction. Hug 20 accent by includes fluids. Climate inequalities fail to co-op. Then in health and touch, Brazil play leading role breakers in the Amazon. Global are protect the Amazon. If default presents herbal South African versus forest, and Savannah governments retreat from multiple to nationalism and protectionism. Brazil achieve breakthrough with pains, but fragile protests and unrest dangerous. But we can fight back. Collapse is likely. Reject defense. One expert consensus. Even a small probability of ways. Just go 26. Ill models have deficiencies, subjective probability based on expert opinions useful and indicate substantial probability of impact. So immense even small probabilities are relevant. Second, physics and CSEM. Smolders 24. CSEM indicates estimations of AMOC tipping points consistent with physics-based indicator. Two major conclusions. Observation crucial for early warning probability very likely to be underestimated. But IPCC models failed. Carrington 23 models has not adapted at analyzing nonlinear process involved, make them overly conservative. It doesn't assume tipping points. Just go 26. Many indicators AMOC can become much more rapidly protected through the crossing critical threshold. It causes the GC-NEF-F. When C25 AMOC goes supporting current ocean current stabilizes spread baskets of climate, allowing for steady yields controlled sea level at key grain ports causes abrupt shocks to significantly increase the probability of a failure. Extinction outweighs some probability. Crypt 19 failure undergoing stress chemical weapons frequently deployed and failure among its early drivers nuclear conflict possibility and nuclear firepower multiplying packet in Russia and the US to play atomic weapons invasion of refugees, food security. The most likely scenario for termination by sustainable food. Policy development is ongoing, but hinges on developing collaborative relationship with ocean stakeholders. Remedy to work collaboratively. Stakeholders' importance for ocean planning. Current efforts by agencies should ensure collaborative relationships. Scientific methodology alone fails. TK is key to rebalance policymaking around inclusivity and collaboration. Set in 16 different frames of reference, degree of ambiguity or factors more inclusive collaborative management. Scientific methods insufficient. Even a factual level approach yields varied recommendation apt to be sufficient. WFK essential. Managing natural resources vital to collaborative management activities. Social trust undergirding legitimacy of policy solution generate social caption needed for effective policy implementation. Not obtainable in any other way. Scales of knowledge rooted recognition. Absence of strong relational ties. Policy definitions and practices apt to be flawed. Influence of fisheries. Parallel 22. Disappearance of fish from very secret super farm for Alaska fisheries. American consumers depend on fish sources to see for protein. Political fight like the measures needed for fish sustainably. Resilience is factors complicating matter for ecosystem. Commercial fishing residents are working collaborative for local solutions. It's existential. Evans 23. Arctic prevalent geopolitical competition of fisheries have raised a potential for unintended escalation. Danger is real. Language in fishery and security concerns are apparent. Worse as water seems to warm potential species have significant economic value. Increases Russian military presence in the near future for arctic fisheries. Become more sensitive. And Barnett's and Bering play a strategic role in posture with NATO, Russia, and China. Fisheries used in table in international politics, symbolic national pride of being cheated. Politicization more relevant after Ukraine potential conflict is greater security concerns from escalatory efforts and fisheries should prompt caution. Bering Strait stability is key to the eastern North Pacific right whale that underpins ocean fertilization, oxygen. Bush 24 NPRW lives in Alaska and Bering Sea critically endangered. Many benefits ecosystem and humans. Ecosystem and engineers part of oceanic system. Enhancing phytoplankton improve its ocean fertilization. Supporting phytoplankton lead to carbon dioxide, release oxygen. Lead to robust fisheries, important carbon cycle. Exchange benefits loss lead to trophic cascade extinction. Majority 19. 85% of oxygen produced by plankton whales under upswelling, nourishing the plankton survives life. Could consider effects whale have on oxygen takes only 3 of your time rest and see how that works. Whales sustain life as we know. Developments inevitable to try or die. Berkman 16. Opening of the Arctic following recession and thinning of sea ice. Observers of growth of economic activity, association rights, and BSR worth considering development pertaining to shipping, energy, fishing, and tourism. Thus, the United States federal government should significantly increase its federally planned development of the Bering Strait region.
Can we? Yeah. We'll wait for the thing.
Yeah. Okay, send. You can move over if you want. Yeah.
We'll let you know when we get to that.
Perfect.
We'll let you know.
Jimmy, can you switch to Give me a second. Let me know when you've downloaded it.
Okay. We'll take some of cross-axis crap. Okay. This should be in the content. Yes, yeah. Do you want to dehighlight the source? This is serious thing. You don't like this? Yeah. Okay.
And after this.
This is what Jordan. Oh, yeah. This makes sense. I have it. Will that make sense? Yeah. All of that. No. Hang on. What was that? Okay, sure. Okay. All right. There's 234 left, and then whatever.
Are you good for
I'm sure that's.
You good for cross-axis?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Federally planned development of the Bering Strait. What does that build or do?
So it does ocean planning. So that could include things like increased monitoring in the Bering Strait via a collaborative approach with local communities.
Why is monitoring development?
So that's planning.
Planning.
That's an example of ocean planning.
Okay, ocean planning. So to what degree does it involve indigenous groups?
I mean, what do you mean to what degree?
Is it like a Is it consultation? Like, are
it
they
certainly includes
incorporated into government
discussion. Like,
structures?
I mean, all federal actions obviously include discussion with local communities. So
I don't know if all federal action does, but like,
Okay.
so
the
does the
would
plan
be-
fiat like
well,
cooperate
part
to
of
ask
planning,
indigenous people before
part
they
of
do the
well,
case?
it's not. Whoa! It's not like we consult them whether or not.
Okay,
we
so
plan.
like, how are they
Part of what-
involved?
Well, okay, so part of what planning is local discussion. So something that is included in the process of planning.
Well,
is
right, but you're obviously
iterative
you're not
dialogue with
fiating
local
local
groups.
actors. So like, how are those
Well,
discussions
the
incorporated?
action
into the
of
plan?
well, no. But the argument is that when you go into a local community and you're like, here's what we're interested in doing in the Arctic, like that is a part of planning. So like, it's not like
so
it's not like we
government
consult them
agencies. So
about
what?
the
Hold on.
planning.
First of
This
all,
is the plan.
what agency?
Well, the plan text says USFG.
Yeah.
Which agency?
specifically. Yeah.
Normal means would probably be the Coast Guard.
Okay, so Coast Guard goes into like Alaskan communities or like people around the Bering Strait region, and like asks them how we should solve like food scarcity and warming.
That's a pretty reductive way of putting it, but yeah.
Okay, well, how does that solve warming? Like, what things
Certainly
do these
doesn't
people
solve
recommend?
global warming. So
Sorry,
certainly doesn't solve
or
global
Arctic warming,
warming. Definitely doesn't solve that either.
Arctic biodiversity.
That's a little bit closer.
Okay, what is it then?
Well, the terminal impact I think you're referencing is the Parlow evidence.
Yeah.
So, but that's pretty specific to the Bering Strait. So it's not general Arctic biodiversity.
Yeah.
Our evidence says that this particular region is connected with global ocean because of global ocean currents and atmospheric circulation. It's interconnected with other
Wait,
systems.
okay, but Gulf Stream internal link, like AMOC, like how does the plan solve like global emissions, like global
well, we
warming?
read like 6 cards that like this is the large like Bering Strait is largest internal link.
Explain. Like,
So-
how?
AF doesn't solve global emissions.
Okay, so how does this solve like
So
global
a lot of warrants.
changing
The
of
first is
ocean currents?
baroclinic instability. So the problem with the status quo is that if the Bering Strait were to undergo severe environmental disruption, salinity between basically the Pacific and the Atlantic would shift.
Right,
And the
but
problem
that
with that is
salinity comes from melting icebergs, which comes from emissions anywhere. So how does plan solve that?
So the problem with that is that, well, that is a way it comes from, but the argument is that salinity is changing inevitably from a lot of things that are occurring in the Arctic. Ice melt is an example of them, but the one I see evidence lists other things as well.
We will take
10. General atmosphere defense. General ocean. Yeah, it's okay. That's true. Give it a message.
$8.16. Yeah, I will need to count. It's gonna be quite a few.
Okay.
Just let me know when everyone has gotten the document.
56 pages.
So let me know how many.
Yeah.
Currently, there's a lot. That's not too bad.
Currently?
You currently?
Yeah.
You've done worse. I did 15. Yeah, that means you can do something.
So what's the order?
11, around 11 in case. Yeah.
Okay.
We're good.
Good. Yeah. GBN, Piano, Russell?
Mhm.
Awesome. Cool. First of the benefits caused by the U.S. Construction propagating benefit causes after the population to increase federal impact of the border to treat absent calculate that could to and increase its society response to the U.S. to reduce the level of that concludes the directly benefits of the test well over the benefits and the operation plan to instructing the solution and challenge Coast Guard to appreciate the administrative procedure act the Supreme Court showed over extended version certified that the Coast Guard collaborate on constitutional will make consistent cost benefit between the assaults and mission cost benefit assets which preserves the fragile and safety safety to go to the American state cost benefit of the safety workmanship will similar to the construction that technically set up the challenge like the authority to the cost that authority is the countless the central planning command and work across big action by council of parties of the government command. The government council of nation political however, there's 40 people government side there should be a sense of the order what there's in the crisis of the any comes of the side of the actually color refreshment control by social externally but okay actually for chicago president of analysis like the wishes to make text of the colors to the public good for this investigation of some of the official presentations of office of profit the Carlos is covering up my chest Carlos is under press by the review was always Carlos is having worship chest because Carlos go to the research of the channel of the happens with the communication comes to the kind of property person Carlos and you're the growth of the battery selection capital sustainable factory planning with us the customers of the growth of the business in order to see what goes over the shop capital sell control financial industry check out for control makes economic capital so you're hospital to get mission to go impose and maintain the solution to the capital so also equal equality of the legislation for specific capital or just professional advice education is lobby with connection to people who can actually future with other capital better ready with the alternative economic structure next up is the reverse review count upon the United States Constitution propagated regulation to increase federal level of the various federation to US country under the convention review activation which will solution to against the regulation of the Constitution as to suit against our country injection against the Constitution the Supreme Court the US Constitution of the Constitution advice if the agencies here are a for forever happens the admin say the capital as the agencies for complete initiating suits that result in the substantially same article 80 girls within the regulation of the rest of the regulations of the control colors of the representation of legal political and information of the concentrated the women's causes the managers and any conclusion constantly will entity channel regulation basis in the connection for courts ensure with that causes mass authority destroys as those administrative dysfunction presumption go ahead but the other two girls and something congress and the vision of the devil to take back to constitution back to the procedure of the wish of it but it was exclusive for the challenge to go competition the constitution cover whenever else you wish to order extinction power from the Christian country God is the nature of the worst of the beginning of the current course of the process of feedback and goes will be activities versus the person we face in our operations really like the well the action factors the world intersecting courses take capacity crucial next off is the colonialism became indigenous ontological relation instrumental lessons of access for political for you being imagined integration of traditional objects and temporary reconciliation that ideological lessons of which are the church is to also not person for the is called English language contributions to this based on the loss of the equation for the second game but no not because of the services of the close to culture has returned also there's security RP phone neck to endorse material decolonization what to do legalism to some reaction what to do those are because of this world is the country but there's a challenge with this reaction to the essence of the campus because all say maybe some of the our people next time that you recount about the Supreme Court the essentials about that general common law of nations including duty federal patent law of the various regions instead of solidity that's false and over to receiver that's why we next of the various series the other study the general common law even calling the general squishy federal say cases with the church now making such excellent excellence but across that unwide core illegitimacy or level pretty reduced to it because all the question of what against access with and the regard for never stuff such a of the circuit is different regard the courses which you can have rule of education restricted to the life matter so the secretary consequence of the other church from the state possibility even to the getting your like this plans equal mass extinction you treat it to nature what Number so, innovation should probably charges and case all the law, policy responsible, lose conflict, course, but listen to elementary process of the commission for responsibility, really covers the large studio of physics. Refugees, that's all. It's not going to talk about MS and info, so we'll introduce to go to the expert changes to middle books, well, the action, the casting, the language, or visual, purpose producing middle shoes, or any other term, over the cases all around that's asexual human activity. Next off the GI account of the US to identify parents people as the top of the party issues, and if you take to federally planted of the parents region, the US is should try the affirmation of cases and just
employee access to things, lack of underwork employee impact system, that's all, the spilling over paramedic streets, L's extinction, and consumption via institutional Russian constitution, collaboration with the workers must and then to the situation goes to the records of the regulations to it, as a short of civil solutions like access to the solution, and as a sure civil solutions, the comments on the challenge, the lesson construct with the system application cover, the resistance of the government changes the balance of the geography of the record, and every comes to the return machine, the liberal
Wait, do I need to read the NITO part on the cap K? If not, moving on. Next on to the bench of the U.S. America should rule customer application for federal plan of the parent region and increase federal plan governance of the parent region after recording the event. One of the increase federal development plan of the parent region. That's all 16 motor with the after the minister that's why I should be until too late. And CI also 16. So let's obligation, pressure with the international obligation, wrestling, and the action for the coaching for life, and the best of these use of the investors to goal solutions, well, this racist, all the fire, the take a consultation, without consider the life project. That's always should read. Yeah. Back on cap K. The front of the U.S. for should able to develop some of the central economic to do working capital casts and markets, and much of the business markets, the rest of the people talking about the social and best together, and we're going to some request the social and markets, also can be the market, just as pressure capital organization cost, working market structure based on our control, the services will have an surplus, and excellent states kind of the state, and subsequent territories to the state last year increase, that will the contribution and through a constant to the constitution increase, that will the bear should be and for those that will the bear should be amended and sustainable operation, and the immigration fund government to the sector, government with the lead plan of the barrier, that's also console and what's all again, nothing of course is not for limited purposes and solves democracy message. Now it's the time. Extinction of that's what the parents and the still is and also security calls on TV like put the asses into the right field of government. It makes a lot of inefficient most of the states. Case. Marine body recently also to the other here was a the truth of the singer was the certification of the certificates of the that's the creatures would have to no default migration before they would and then also the company and then actually the structure to country has that and of course the country thing the option to has to 2% also had lots of suggestions that are actually considered voted division worked in 1990s and have followed relationship with the conflict stories to country to there's reasons of civil rights and culture with not situations with nothing source relational and issues accepted literature having to reduce party heating to the medical people so Similarly, short-term versus planning versus city, reducing the zero because not different for the media rules and characteristics language stuff. The losses in the British poverty rate, poverty causes the low percentage of population in the city, so the world, not that there was social environment change of the other folks that believe that there's no conflict that this is what you have in British margin next to the global city, possibly far. For example, there's a huge national conflict for reaches of excessive tensions. Brazil lacks a terminal. We get new answers, no kind of company. By 18, the numerous of these have the huge list that we're ready by colleagues and data. Settle data, some of the list of the videos and other conditions and like criticisms are both worth mentioning. Yeah, no culture, media companies must go the university. The most studying class of the profession of the better education. Other relation to the like, plan for. Anything else, person?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay. You're good for cross?
Yeah.
Okay. Status?
Conditional against new affirmatives.
Okay. What of the off-case positions did you skip?
Didn't read politics. I think I read.
I don't think you read the LD stuff, right?
No.
Okay, that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so the benefit cost counter plan?
Sure.
So why do we start doing more benefit costs after the counter plan?
Sir Code is pretty good. It says that reviews will help stabilize rulemaking.
Why do we not review in the status quo?
Why do they not do review in the status quo? There is institutional gridlock that we think the counter plan uniquely overcomes.
Why would the counter plan overcome?
I mean, there's just not like a precedent for review. Well,
obviously there is a precedent for review.
It doesn't like come out of the blue.
Okay, so if we win,
we've heard evidence that there's like a regulatory system that's happening now.
If
ossified regulations globally, yeah.
If we win that there is a precedent for agencies to do cost benefit, do we win?
I mean, you can. It depends. Like our argument is that there's like you need cost benefit reviews that spill over and are salient because they don't
spill over
any other bases.
Oh, okay. The reverse review counter plan.
Yeah.
So same question on this one. You said that Congress is fundamentally dysfunctional for all these reasons. The counter plan does some stuff. Why does it solve?
Well, Congress is not necessarily.
Counter plan would result in reducing power of the CRA via precedent, which Cole is pretty good on why imposing that standard is
Okay, so I'm going to read you a line from your Goodwin evidence. Attention is how legislative gimmicks like the CRA contribute to a broader problem of congressional dysfunction.
Yeah,
Seems
CRA
like
is one of the most important things. 'Cause
yeah,
it
it's
allows Congress
of course
to
it's
do
one of the
it is.
important things. Which piece of evidence says it's key?
Oh, it is one of the greatest challenges and one of the
Why
greatest
is that?
loopholes in Congress. Why?
I mean, this card is pretty much exclusively about the CRA, and
Well, this card is.
the reason,
obviously.
I mean, the reason it's key is because it gives Congress the power to basically overturn any agency
The colonialism case. So will the alternative fiat kicking, would it give the land back?
Yes.
Okay, is it just in Alaska or everywhere?
everywhere.
Everywhere. Okay, so where do the people go?
Where do the people go?
Yeah.
Europe?
Yeah.
Whoa, so we recolonize Europe?
No.
I mean,
no.
It's not.
They-
It's
What
not.
do you know?
That's not a colonization. Like that's.
That's
Yeah,
not a
literally, that is
colonization.
literally the definition of colonization.
No.
No, because
That's not what it is.
like
Okay, why are we on
colonization-
stolen land now?
Colonization infers. Like
Okay, yeah. Why are we on stolen land now?
Why are we on stolen
Yeah.
land?
Why are we on stolen land? Someone clues an ontological structure that shapes how indigeneity is viewed in settler society due to liberal drives to exterminate
Okay.
indigenous spots.
Also, like Tuck and Yang says, like, where do the people go as a settler moved to innocence?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So consider that.
Yes.
Before
Okay,
you ask
yeah.
the question.
Okay. Marine biodiversity resilient. When did the 1AC read of marine biodiversity impact?
The terminals to maybe half the things you read relies on winning the oceans about it.
This is like in the past, like bad things didn't happen to the
Oh
ocean.
yeah,
Why
this
does
is
it-
like worse than a nuclear winter. We're talking Permian traffic.
Yeah, so it says
extinction.
bad. Wait, what is worse? than
It's
nuclear?
worse than like the worst and
What
worst
is
of
worse
climate
than the
change.
worst?
Species have survived, Ethan. This is pretty simple. It's defense to everything that you say.
Apologies.
Okay?
Yeah. Roger that. Let's just be. Let's make sure you guys. Then I'll cost. You have capital. You're not. I have just the first two. You have second. You have second. You want me to get into the different skill course? Let's say all this was conversation. Yeah. You have your. Yeah, I see. You have management. You have CIO. Wait, has it like it doesn't matter? Yeah. Should court going on and then work there? Yeah. State's counterpart. Yeah. With the state's counterpart is contract with the democracy. There should have that. Just like tell me the business. It also has UCF and contract. Okay. UCF. And UCF doesn't turn or compound doesn't turn. You say this card is about doing good things with one card, that's not the outcome. Like all concepts, they don't have that defense. Yeah. Okay, just skip. So you can be quick on counterpoint because benefit accepts internal bullshit. Yeah, it's yeah, I mean, like, they don't really have cards the same. All of our stuff, it's the one there. So. I read this. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go. 750. 750.
Okay, is everyone good for an order?
Sure.
Yeah. It's gonna be the governance advantage, T minerals, the word pick, the advantage counter plan, The development pick.
What's the? It's on the advantage. Yeah. Sorry. Start over. Wait, can you start?
Okay, T minerals. The advantage counterplan. The cap K. The set col K. The GIA counterplan. The Erie counterplan. The states counterplan. The reverse review counterplan. The benefits costs counterplan. Okay, is anyone not good?
Oh wait, write down doc. I need to stuff. Yeah, I can.
Wait, we're gonna take 5 seconds, bro.
I got it.
5 seconds.
So that is.
Okay, anyone not good now?
I'm good whenever Jimmy's good.
I need to write that down yeah, sure.
Alright.
Wait. Let's see.
Jimmy, you gave me the chop time.
Alright. Go
Okay,
ahead.
is anyone not good?
Yeah, we're good.
Great.
BSR crisis causes extinction through global systematic collapse of a finely tuned R2 ecosystems in the ecosystem causes atmospheric temperature to rise and disrupt ecological balance, holding the world together. AMAC collapse is coming. Physics and CSM indicates probabilities very likely. Tipping points mean you must prioritize probability, overcorrect F, IPCC, while fail and overestimate the time frame of non-linear processes. AMAC disruption causes extinction through extreme weather events and thermal instability causes massive planetary scale disaster which disrupt global ecosystem and food chain necessary for humanity survival. Air AFNIC data is incorrect and doesn't assume physics. Generic definition doesn't apply. AMAC collapse is coming. Expert consensus. Physics and SEM, you should overcorrect F. That was all above. Amazon deforestation causes extinction through trophic SK is a key driver of global biodiversity essential to all human life. Brazil diplomacy soft power solves extinction. Brazil acts as the middle power to facilitate the discourse between the north and south to prevent any emergent risk. And all wars creates multilateral cooperation, which solves everyone to see impact food scarcity, drive existential nuclear conflict, resource conflict, and scrambles for survivability, severe impact disruption, collapse of global super production, and starves the entire world. Food prices, good is wrong. No link prices can still be high without meeting the conflict threshold. Packaging, shipping, distribution are all causes, but conceding the absolute global food supply means we solve food supply products and more spikes more poverty. About it can also the food supply regulation sharply 20 poverty was at 44 million average increase of 1%. The directive XCG may have substantial increase in poverty. People do not afford and spend large fractions of their income on food. Even in rural areas for all not consumer food, there's fundamental difference in methodology we use it. How do we seek to eliminate the fact in particular good that it's not possible to check it without data? It's not just me how the impact was going to see 120 million food insecure people is seen appropriate to be concerned about the food price again compared to lower the number. Alaskan fishery collapse causing existential miscalculation Russia China discourse cooperation. Geopolitical tensions necessary to diffuse tension is solve every existential risk. NPR NWRP whale collapse cause extinction cause trophic SKs killed all phytoplankton necessary for all Earth's oxygen production. The T minerals. We made the plan intend mineral extraction through collaborative founding. Any violation makes the birds between T and solvency. We made the plan. Texas for the only objective measure counter federal development refers to planning of a structure of public works. CFR 25 federal development federal agency activity involved planning construction modification removal of public work facilities or structures prefer a background resource have to lose their the profits to be precision. They're interrelaxing because it's not the context of federal developments. The functional limits, deterrence, DA, politics, PC, picks and other T definitions solve if only limits matter. Counter only or F solves reasonability causes race the top and avoids race substance strata. New one in our T arguments justify new 2 argues development. The elastic advantage. According to both terms of the campaign, word picks are a voting issue. Afghan reduced debate to tangential semantic questions, not including the word development, creates confusion, which destroys certainty, links, and benefits. So does the process of development, even if it's not called that, including other terms, make other individuals upset and lapses into the same politics they critique, or can't solve the not including development means it doesn't do ocean planning, cross-supply framework, annexation of ways which will be below the band stuff. It can't do. Perm to the plan in any combination of the planks. Second plan can't solve the can't fiat governance itself or links to that benefit. The CIL counterplan. One instance of CIL can spill over to broader use. We broadly use CIL instead of improvement on close to the Americans cause of the GBS Convention. Perm plan other issues to perm to the counterplan. In all other instances, CIL doesn't solve extinction, leader circumvent, and their evidence of a specific application of it to non-proliferation or environmental regulation. Not in one instance of invocation of overbearing straight governance. Perm plan. The United States federal government should not core drill. No evidence that we're core drilling now or we have capability to break through cost. Interconditioning action on plan implementation is a voting issue. Actions are functionally limited, reduced debate to meaningless, unpredictable, minutiae with the crowd out, topic discussion greater than unlimited office cap.
Framework evaluate plan desirability against competitive alternatives. Key to fairness. Class setting and lower stand for think is unfair and encourage clash. What if both? The plan non mutually exclusive instances of the all no link arc to development is inevitable. The status quo of the app ensures sustainability around ocean governance, which also impact accelerating innovation, market-based reforms, ushers in stably more effectively. And the Grills 26 plan tech link to guard security caliber line and more powerful political actors. Creation allow me create economic growth, security, major relations, popularization, principle noble, hard to disagree, less effective, mobilizing wider, supporting news, accelerate transformation, citizens that make small changes about analyze, change lifestyle, because they become challenge populist right-wing parties, specific agree, backlash to accept challenge policy, weakening, disorganization, root go through down, feeling health, behavior, chance, lifestyle, security, fraud, backlash, so dislike being lectured, that evident challenges are diffusing, mark the card at diffusing private actor mindset, international fiat, or all voting issues as far as can't predict it. I mean, offense can't solve the case, doesn't ocean plan, which is a key as per or everyone want to see cards. Cycle K cross the play framework, purge both protecting TK is good. The ult fails. There's no explanation for how it scales up to the scope that impacts to the extent they do solve. Private actor, utopia, cross the play for both, can't solve the case, or internal links to impact on it. Alternative, turns all defined outside the nation to colonizers. Charmer 20, the agency supports the imperialism in addition, natives or out of place migrants were settlers, indigenous natives are granted access to territories right now. National state identity, state group, British fit the nation being native because the potential approaching colonizer comes as migrants experience of colonization, unimported, mark the card unimported. The GIA cannot play both project compound doesn't solve the average durably fiat's banning the plan. The reason that reason doesn't create an outlet for reapproval. It's just a justification. But the first part clause strikes it down permanently. The Coast Guard's key. Their only boundary agent trusted and skilled enough to effectively engage Alaska Native group. That's in the is confirmed legally empirical federal analysis. Key to federal update that's wonky. Their evidence about Europe they overregulate, so no reason. We just need to simplify per to the content of the plan. Sequencing fiat actions not separate VC. The content is a cover for tier. January 25. Simplification of library circuit water protection could reinforce market evidence logical tech companies while undermining protection and accountability and trust as barriers. Regulation over checklist such regulation innovation towards cover and rest of the European markets more fighting US states with their national regimes. The EU counterplan purge both project compound the big classify the Coast Guard key stuff. I'll go to the last. Purge both. Purge the compound and links to the benefit makes political place inevitable. The cross apply the Coast Guard key stuff and block it. Only the federal government has legal jurisdiction of the BSR because located no CS non-US GPIs a voting issue. The federal government is key. Their only actor to effectively coordinate numerous agency states and private actors. Key to fund and support regional efforts that turns to the benefit is going as regional actually. Strike that. The Concon plank purge both purge the compound. Little bit Concon compounds bad. No literature means unpredictable. And Dex flash yield larger than anything knows to limit Concon. Inherently limitable necessary one away. The card is about doing anything good with Concon. That's not the F, which means it can't solve purge the compound of the plan. The UCF plank purge both purge the compound. Crackdown 0 solvency for 24 Trump. National Guard Republic combat. Radical left U.S. combat American soldiers put on trial for treason by bloodshed. Tribunal of the insurrection act. No to usurp persecute political but do the military go after those people. No problem. Gives the president authority emergency to prevent civilians to try to influence what happens if we want to pay permission. Trump follow through the threats, including military trials. Trump already worked to actively revoke the plan. Agencies were directed to abandon this goal. Is say no, cross applies to every process kind of plan. Perm to the kind of plan, then the plan. Fiat is key. Inducements or recommendations to the plan of status quo. Only a durable mandate, revitalize sustainable governance. That's Raymond. The process is important. Raymond, you could be on AT. The success of ocean planning, highly difficult steps today for considering implementation into mitigating how the shapes of decision making provides strong foundation, more comprehensive consultative planning. Anything but consistent ROP from the federal government is seen as piecemeal and unable to reverse current aversion to planning. That's go as the cross apply. There's no net benefit. No spillover. The right not benefit uniqueness. One instance is insufficient, no impact, card number 6 extinction, and other actors solve it, all causes and almost modulus. Strike it. One instance solves, then so does the status quo. Go the reverse. Durability is key. Goes 20. The directed non-use community regulations to proceed for regulation modified established mission jurisdiction for the foundation terminus title 3 CFR overturn the segment administration only full statutory codification solved by 20 is the policy lecture statutory foundation reverse review template. Purge both, purge the compound, the plan. If fiat's the whole plan by fiating courts, fines, foreign agency. New apps are good since they cause innovation, cross-apply durability key, and statutory codification. No presumption, durable fiat solves and internal links is proved. No polycrisis internal. Existing precedent proves courts don't change their mind because of the plan. 2, no terminal, unwarranted lateralist, other actor solves. Alt, F turns since AMOC causes global instability. They can't solve it since CRA contributes to the problem. Dysfunctional remains. It's uncertain. The benefit cost compound. Purge both, purge the compound. Links to the statutory codification tested in every single process key deficit above. Perm plan, Coast Guard, do BCA. Court should agree. Perm to the compound to the plan. Cross apply the net benefit defense. If we don't do the benefit cost now, we don't after the counter plan. If agency review in the status quo solves, so does other countries. Terminal says nothing. Trump already worked to revoke the plan. Cross apply say no. Everyone says no for everyone. Back to the actually, yeah, back to the Can't solve the net benefit. Judicial confidence, look for other things judiciary in other countries solve. Perm plan. The Supreme Court in the United States should find that general common law of nations that includes a duty cross-apply every single process deficit. Delegating authority turns net benefit and fails. Race empty community find themselves overwhelmed, attacking stuff and attention to the weak pre-existing natural capacity creates a dispute fueled environment for his management unclear roles wasted in ordering time responding substitutes prepare reports colonial dependency more seamlessly incorporated inhibits self-teach of offload responsibility reduce pressure on the government makes first nation accommodate increases content increases resources necessary to the program. Conditionality is bad because trans good incentivize the smart 1C, 2C strengths encourage research on both sides, kick up their reports of theory, also have to straighten.
Yeah, so maybe get these cards.
Yeah.
one card.
Yeah, I think it's just the. You read this on something. You didn't read this card, right?
No.
Yeah, you read it somewhere else.
So 0 cards.
No, there's just a Okay, I said. Alright. It has the current text as well.
Okay. Good?
Yep.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Let's talk about durability key cards you had in UCF.
Wait, hold on. Did y'all send perm text, you say?
Yeah, it's in the doc that I sent.
Oh, wait. Let Russell.
Oh, okay, I see. All right, we're good. I thought I got the first thing in the body.
I got you.
Okay.
All right, let's continue. Okay. Durability stuff you read on UCF. Raymond Yakubin says who initiates and how matter.
Yeah.
I guess what's the impact to that and why
So
is the Coast Guard key?
Specifically for the UCF counterplan, the initiator of the counterplan is the states, which tells the federal government then to do it. The difference for the plan is that the process starts from the Coast Guard and starts from the federal government, which we have said is the key boundary agent to engage in indigenous and community participation.
What is different between the Coast Guard and other agents in terms of engaging with indigenous?
When I see evidence says U.S. Coast Guard District 17 has a really unique relationship with tribes in the Bering Strait.
I guess tribes not trusting the Fed. What's the impact of that?
They don't engage in ocean planning, and when I see evidence says
They
they're
don't engage.
All of 1AC internal links are premised on
Okay,
incorporation
so
of traditional knowledge.
let me get this clear. If Coast Guard collaborates with indigenous people, they trust that agency,
Yes.
and that leads.
When I see
to
evidence is very good
follow-up.
about this.
Great.
Yes.
Cool. I want to talk about what is this? Durability key. This one talks about the NOP's directive of interagency cooperation. Can you explain what that was?
Yeah, so in the status quo, whenever the U.S. does ocean planning, it occurs from the executive. And the problem with that is that when executive administration changes, either people think it'll flip-flop because the president can change it because executive orders aren't durable, or if the president can't, even if the president doesn't change it, perceptions of that are really difficult.
Oh, wait, let's sit on that for a little bit. The plan fiat's the Coast Guard. How do you make indigenous
No, the
people
plan
trust?
also fiats Congress. You said which agency does the plan fiat and when I see cross-ex.
So Congress, why does Congress change that perception?
Well, statutory codification is good.
Statutory.
Like Congress is the one, obviously the only one with the authority to statutorily
So
codify things.
durability, jurisdiction, and
Yeah.
authority. Yes.
Yeah. And obviously this links to every counterplan because everything results in agency action, not congressional.
So I guess, do indigenous people care about whether or not the legislation is in Congress?
It's not about whether indigenous people care about it. It's the fact that agencies are subject to regulatory flip-flop when different presidencies change. It could reverse the
Subject to
policy.
regulatory flip.
Yeah, unless there's clear congressional authorization, agencies have their own discretion with how to ocean plan, which means they will effectively collaborate with the indigenous groups in Alaska.
Got it. Let's go to CAC. The skills card talks about growth, security, and degrowth. What about that is necessarily a part of capitalism? And why is capitalism key to that?
Well, it says capitalism creates
Give
sustainable.
me one line
technologies.
from this card that's about capitalism.
So wait, growth is capitalism.
Wait. Equating growth with capitalism. That's your mistake number 1 second. Where do you think you've read a line that says capitalism is the only thing that causes growth? And it says, quote, help align with powerful political actors. How does capitalism do that?
Oh, wait, what? This card, okay, you've asked 3 questions. The first question, this card is about capitalism. It says, why sustainably transition are studying to accelerate via technical innovations. Obviously proves cap sustainable if the world is creating new technologies to solve.
New technologies.
So your card says growth bad in the one NC. So
Interesting.
Yeah,
Wait. Let me look at exactly how much time. I thought was it 8:48?
yeah, it's 8 something. That's
8:48.
sure.
Yeah, 8:48.
Don't miss it.
6 minutes.
Yeah.
Actually, start 6 minutes. What? I'm not sure. 5:45. All right, the doc is set. The order is T minerals, the cap K, the reverse review counterplan, and the case. Jimmy, can we switch timers? Can I have the better one?
Yeah.
All right. Everyone good?
Just 1 second. No, definitely good. I'm good now.
Panel, GBN.
Yeah.
Great.
Topical left was identify, evaluate minerals, reject plant takes in a vacuum, kills level 10, re-clarify forces, blend to an arsenal, plant solution, language, the plant violates because of its ocean governance, and not mineral extraction. If it doesn't, presumption because nothing about the plant is mineral extraction, and it would be a T to the plant. Now, evaluate tags and crossings, that's best because they choose what's to the plant, but it gives them solid inroads against fakeness. They violate functionally for the same their reason above because they know ocean governance and not mineral extraction. Now, the counterterm is awful. One limits the green light infrastructural tweaks for any action like communications, military research, rescue, and even transportation combated by numerous agencies. Limits term predictability because matters no smaller topics are more likely to be favored. 2. Ground infinite subsets move private actor counterlights and no link forward for environment or resource states. Only Archer provides a unifying mechanism. Now there, the CFR card is terrible. This it's bi-directional. It doesn't define anything. It says that you can remove any structures with explosive limits. Plus that they don't meet it because it includes they don't remove any structures or build any structures in the Arctic. They do mapping, which is not justified under the center. Now no Afghan or over limiting. 1. No link. They construct pipelines, build mining infrastructure, seabed mining, port trusting, create storage, or at least geological service, find deposits. 2. Air negative, infinite prep. And speak first and last. Precision is offense. 1. Joint context. 18 expression development are confined to the process of discovering minerals activities. Following 2. Statute. We cite U.S. Code, the gold standard. A definition on a domestic topic. 3. Context. Cunningham. 2. 12. OCLA. Granted 2. Responsibility for administering exploration in Alaska. No function limits. Quantity of areas and actors remove unifying ground to will race to small plants. Discrete out links. Alaska loses the EEZ and signaling deficits. Politics is unworkable. Under Trump and executive shields. Private and process loses say no. Or combination since the resolution lacks clearly definable mandates. There's no only our F. It's arbitrary, so which means every F could say this plus limits since this particular era is massive. Project reasonability. T is substance cause the race to the top. And it's an arbitrary threshold because of judge intervention. But the sum of all of reasonable interpretations is unreasonable. Now, cap K framework can only be neg offense. The K has unique league and a competitive vault, meaning their counter of the neg can win by disproving the economic theory or proposing a better alternative for 1. Resistance hammer. 25. The rules of the game are constructed through distortion process to stabilize particular social orders, including alternative possibilities. Individuals can be mobilized national order. Can change the hegemonic process to accept of the federal university professionalized at least legitimize something the natural condition of hegemonic process settlement and market relations. 2. Knowledge production plan. Focus solidifies neoliberal thinking and debate. By turn, ideological commitments are outside the scope of debates. Perms, voltage, and dominant capital ideology. Only forefronting criticisms of development can combat social failure. That's finger. Those threats determine reality. In the Arctic Lovecraft, 19 each articulation interested in the liberal social place for different ideological modes of solution. That touch your process major part of policy debate. Now framing should hold the line. This seems works out without terminal impact. So you should try new 1 years to deter. Sandbagging fairness is 0. 1. No link in the 2AC orange can't be biased because it adds weak conditions for both sides. If prior questions is checked by 4 economic system or really 25. Therefore, economic system commit market makes the traditional 2 not an impact. It's an internally sufficient of debate to sum out resource disparities and judge bias. But even at worst, our case of our interpretability fair, which solves 3 ground cap case only core generic on the topic development is exploration. It's a topical mandate making economic solution arbitrary. They get infinite prep, the advantage of new and leverage epistemological priors like util and offensive making their interpretation an unfair double standard. Topical mandates require defense of their theory. Limited fortitude in the policy of the word. Show the advocate of the commitment to their theory. This necessary justified theory and technique. It's in the topic here and like 24 degrees. Debaters must have access to capitalism. Clashes take offense even if we don't agree with every argument made. Debaters internalize the broad themes over the course of a
topic to generate resistance to markets whenever possible is critical. There's no terminal besides a process of debate to exploring centuries long philosophical questions solves. Now, do both fails. One, layering the firm contravenes the alternative and attempts to blend markets with democratic control, which one and see the answers can never happen. It's mutually exclusive. They drop that they abolishes development and exploration, which bans the plan. Reclarification is bad. It's doing the bottom. Two, ideology costs 25 neoclassical thought shift between planning belief with markets underlying ideology place socialism and reinforce market ideology. Those who succeed credit capitalism own virtues. Those who do not think any faulty market socialist pose the threat employs strict offense defense if any impact outweighs all deficits jurisdictionally vote neg. But it's more by topical mandates. One, increases on the net words phrases. 8, increases refers to an net increase. Purpose cannot be anti-topical. That's best for a neg ground fostering large outstate guarantee stable links to making the opposites counterpoint to exploration development mandates of more profit motive will be removed from 15 posters. Define exported to give meaning course development uses interchangeable time media search without expectation of profit. Now, though they say carve out eliminating all other instances fails for the same reason as do both development alone marks and virtuous growth machine mindset says finger socialism is all or nothing matter. 23 cabinet function on the socialist and name only income socialized mind today textile 5 years the industry will be for socialized the centers to make investments and manage socialists to carry out a social station one short now give up but it's illegitimate it's fully intrinsic adding textual specifications and functional carve out from the plan which deletes all ground plus they never send out a text so we the reclarification spikes around and favors the app and we couldn't generate deficits so strike eliminate means absolute destruction not reduction 23 dictionaries to create the definition of eliminating again rid of changes without getting rid of it no so thing these different characteristics on it me reducing sides now the link the plan cements capitalist exploitation hold the line they drop the finger evidence and the substance of the link only said it's non-unique because it's happening in the scope but our evidence says that seemingly natural development feeds the growth mindset by establishing the conditions for extraction the all provides uniqueness so it's not non-unique and infrastructure requires carving up environment and justifies further capitalist extraction creating a self-reinforcing cycle of growth and destruction independently cause corporations to exploit the vagueness of the plan's development which causes perversions of indigenous communities desires since they don't fiat them into the government which turns the case and its presumption now it turns ocean governance is one of the capital trapped and industrialized the oceans the market to do face for the ocean is crucial for sustaining global development efforts overcome the new technology oil and gas mining toward creative depths and new territories include the Arctic global demand is moved to extraction of ocean materials economically viable deep sea is dividend and acceleration require causing increase in coastal price facilities that forms offshore platforms of mining then the seafloor mining significantly cause environmental damage deep sea mining of a reversible effects market effects now a chart out for capitalism dropped every impact noted when our answers hold the line this is the finals of the TUC and this is genuinely the worst CapK 2AC I've seen all year dropped impacts long-term welfare evaluating economic systems must rely on it to preserve innumerable value that are resustainability often speaks capitalism systematically deprioritizes planetary survival structural inefficiency makes societal collapse inevitable their growth innovation good card does not contest sustainability so they basically dropped it plus dropped explicitly flagged impacts one planetary boundary market externalities shatter them pushing as fast immediate tipping points and everything climate livability turns the case because it makes Arctic unlivable for indigenous people which means we can't get their traditional knowledge do we think its time frame will stagnate and cross boundaries before growth improves society to rogue tech job markets will unreasonably discounted privatizing short-term benefits that hard code extinction in the long run 3 welfare capitalists factory farming drains it which underutility externally disease and WU prolif are inevitable which cause extinction their card is not about socialism it's about degrowth which so no link because central planning solves because it allows for us to direct better innovations just not one driven by the profit motive which none of their evidence says is key plus only terminal is environment which they've conceded multiple cuts to which I've explained above now the alternative is the planned economy that abolishes markets private property and wage labor and fully meets the social needs and the combination of rational central planning and decentralized feedback mechanisms that fulfill the role of prices it's just like capitalism and the plan that's so 2AC basically dropped it that solves the case only 2AC argument is that it doesn't do ocean governance it definitely does it does the plan better through a centrally planned economy not developing or planning they're removing structures of extraction that did not see transition wars private sector fiat no link to any of this theory because we fiat the USFG now review counterplan introducing certainty key is an automatic negative condition illogical syllogism premise 1 certainty is key to the case we're continuing its make or break so even a small gap trigger presumption premise 2 plan is uncertain 2 sub-premises 1 the CRA it obliterates legal clarity 1 AC Goodwin says that is an atrophy of statecraft that erodes social trust and it's corrosive uncertainty and loopholes that overwhelm the case now 2 AC punted this for the 1 year is banned from answering this premise 1 AC tag Goodwin as massive uncertainty and flag presumption the logical implication of introducing arguments is that when your neg you can concede it and make get those for true I'm not going to read new cards here because the 2 AC basically dropped it 1 year is banned from breaking the syllogism its syllogism is based only on drops and concessions which we agree to be 100 if not voting presumption because the status quo will create policy predictability and plan areas durable fiat obviously cannot check this because they can fiat the extent of they can't fiat the disappearance of the CRA so even if it's not implemented for the case there's still inherent uncertainty with the plan now governance advantage solvency is horrible it's horrifically vague 0 reasons indigenous perspectives it's all better than existing sciences this is just classic noble savage myth no AMOC scenario global emissions of the Gulf Stream it's generally stable studies prove it's increasing movement now 2AC basically just read impact overviews literally did 0 line by line answered none of our defense so all of it is 100 first I'll start with the first impact they extended BSR crisis does not cause extinction doesn't go global there's no reason that other countries couldn't solve and fill in Arctic key as a reverse qualification because it means it's more likely that other countries will provide resilience and indigenous people elsewhere like places like Australia could solve and fill in Arctic ecosystems drop diode defense that says that Arctic ecosystems bounce back and are disconnected from the broader scheme of biodiversity physics prove is also not true because doesn't mean that Arctic biodiversity spills over to other places. Want to know?
Okay, you good?
Yeah.
Okay. T minerals is the dredging aft topical.
Dredging.
Yeah, dredging ports.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could if it's for the purpose of like resource extraction. Like,
How
it
do you
sort of
determine the
depends.
purpose of an aft?
Like, I mean, if the app in the plan text says it's if it's like dredging for anything, like dredging for things in like the South China Sea.
What about like the aft dredges one specific like river basin? Mineral is that topical?
Is there a mineral deposit?
Let's say there are mineral deposits.
Then yeah, it's
Okay. What if the aft does not rate an advantage about mineral deposits?
Well, I think it's sort of like a gut check thing. I mean, we've
It's a
said
gut check,
positional competition is good on plan text in a vacuum.
No, you said solvency,
which means that we think that you should interpret things.
Tags
and cross-X.
solvency.
So we think it's
Okay.
if we think the judge think it's probable
How
that
does
the
that
app
not
can be
mix
interpreted
words?
to not be mineral
How
extraction.
can topicality be defined by solvency?
Because if the judges conclude that it's more likely than not that solvency is something other than mineral extraction, then they should vote
Okay,
against
if the neg wins that the aft doesn't solve for minerals, does the neg win on topicality?
No, solvency is different. My argument is that if the judge concludes that it is something else other than mineral extraction via solvency advocates, tags, cross-X, things like that, then they can determine that the aft is untoppable. It doesn't matter.
The dredging aft, like obviously, it just like extracts the minerals. It takes the
then like yes,
So that's
that
always
would-
topical?
if that is the aft, then
So
yes,
something
would
that
be
results in extraction of minerals.
okay.
is always
Result is
topical.
not topicality. Result would
Well,
be
right, but
like a non-fiat
okay,
mandate.
but
So
obviously you can't.
disagree.
Okay, so what is a case list then? Give me a
I mean, I think I gave like a pretty long
yeah.
one.
Just give me. Some.
Yeah, construct pipelines.
Okay,
build
the
mining
pipeline
infrastructure.
aft that
Yeah.
does not extract minerals.
Yes,
How
it
is
does. It
No, it
directly extracts oil and gas, which is
how would a
listed under
pipeline-
U.S. code.
How would building a pipeline directly extract more oil and gas? Never
Because
just build a pipeline.
pipelines are for the extract. Pipelines go from the ground where the oil and gas
Yeah, but
is
the
up
construction
into
of
the
the
land.
pipeline itself obviously does not extract minerals.
That is the whole purpose of for the purpose of is that
Okay,
when
so
you
we're
have to
back to,
build
like, being
infrastructure
defined by
that is
solvency.
necessary to extract minerals.
The CAPK.
Yeah.
Why is transition go global?
Well, 2AC did not make a no spillover argument, so you don't get to say this in the 1AR. But we think that it's more likely that it
Solvency
will
is a
go.
burden of the negative. You have to prove that it.
Dude, if you have to make a 2AC argument, that is a DA to
But you have to make a 1 and C argument.
We made a 1 and C argument that the alt solves,
Oh, yeah.
and you
read a card that's like
and the only thing that
230.
and the
Just
only thing that
enlighten me.
you said to it was that it doesn't do ocean governance, which I think we've robustly contested. But for educational
enlighten me,
purposes,
yeah.
I'll answer. Obviously, we think that other countries are more amenable to transition for socialism because they feel that the U.S. has polluted the
Okay,
world with things
That
like
makes
capitalism.
sense. The 1 and C link card was about like Arctic extractivism. How is that the plan?
Well, we think development necessarily involves some degree of extractivism.
Okay,
so
if
whether
development
we,
involves
we've we've actually read a
The
specific
aft is
link that
development.
involves
How's
like
the aft not meet two minerals?
sorry, I mean can see topicality. See what
We're
happens.
Great. We're starting on case.
They're taking prep.
We're taking prep. $6.25.
All right. Everyone good for order? Cool. The case. Wait, for everyone can stand.
Yeah.
Case advantage counterplan, SECOL, GIA, which is the flow where I'll be answering condo because I'm not sure what the 2AC answered it.
Can you start?
2AC said it, to be honest.
Hold on. So you said start over, Gavin?
Deterrence, or wait, no, never mind. Case. Advantage counterplan, SECOL critique, GIA counterplan, states reverse review, then EURE.
Can you go a little bit slower?
Yeah, sure. Case, advantage counterplan, SECOL, GIA, states, reverse review, and then EURE.
Here.
Let me download. No.
Awesome.
Right, 625.
Yeah.
Once you're at super good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Good?
Yep.
Everyone? All right, awesome.
Amazon drop defense. Default doesn't collapse all bounty. Never gets destination one. Drop that. Force are resilient globally. Resilient soft power drop. They don't have an internal link to this, nor does it list a terminal election cycles mitigate the impact. In other countries, go in. Food. There's no term casino link. High prices are now. We did not concede the internal link. Regardless, their evidence of 2012 doesn't assume new food prices now. No first impact. They drop food defense countries for in war averting conflict. Dropping periods now. Well substantiated by bounty defense and phytoplankton defense, which they drop. And says that it's empirically resilient. Everything's taken out. There they go. Advantage counterpart. Kick it, reject the argument, not the team can see the permanent conditions, counterpart, not the EU counterpart, because it doesn't condition any set arbitrary counter justifies it, same for every other process adjacent to violations that call, can see the permutation, cap fiat 2SFG policy, meeting everything, GIA, condo, we get whatever, against new ass, one flexible, counter ski, expiration, nebulous requiring motor testing, just has to be no unique access back, that's offense to 250, first on street, clever advantages, the vague plans, too large counterparts under the rule, and eyes and access flow, not to defense one mission, you two leave more access, speaking value, other strategic level, the suits, what's the level, T did stats, T had a link for case rejected, so one, there's no distribution because it's true, force service, prosecute the 4 piece, flag cancel, flags, they dictate the law, states kick it, test competition, we need non-USP fiat, reverse review, consider argument, not the team, EURE counterpart, solves the whole case, as the Supreme Court found that general common law includes a duty to cultivate with natives, which solves every deficit, 2C1, strike firms with no tax and stamp backing, that prevents us to generate just as a one out syntax error, a link for diverse value through often defense with only core, so there's no reason to include that, it's the lens common law, no right to 26 relations century common law, we're going to break our office court, but you're going to common law, right, goes in the sense, go law, right, that's on the common law, because the overlap courts still fall to the plan, that's harder to 23 century culture, common law, journalism, living, common law, all aspects, the impact spill over, only lower, turning you can catalyze broader reclamation. It's smooth as the audio 18 and the limitation controversy, no parties get and it's advisory, which is smooth as understanding for the course. They don't have no presentation value. Choosing to do the comments, severs, whatever clashing at ground tournament. Never fiats are to level. It finds that general common law includes duty to do it. That severs one answer, not expressively, that's distinct. Other interpretations, zero net applicability as that says that to law that's really to do the federal law, it's possessive code and because federal law to increase focus because it makes sense the already existing policy, general common law doesn't exist beyond the 13 of the general common law, 3 resolved, 5 resolve 4 years of G. That's the exploration data 18 the process of any case the same competes positionally, which we get against new asset voting issue, regardless because functional events are hard to find. They said across the plan was federal law that cannot neither for that model subjective based on their specification. It shows a stable system ground against new. Prefer a ground new asset use even a common controversy move back right. Due to shorting Trump unique is no consensus or information is just domestic and politics is that as coordinate which they said is code on T limits thousands of agencies official district courts operating treaties more for the article. Obscure legal uses, no sequencing permit, links to do both the anti law. So overrides the counterplan. It's fully intrinsic textually. The incentives recognize precludes the deficits, assume it afterwards, then which textually intrinsic functionally, even the plan. Well, the counterplan could be a new sequence between the two intrinsic fiat keys on work with the counterplan. Creates a legally enforceable duty on the entire government to plan whenever there's litigation to easy process. Zero to Ethan and Joe said the indigenous people trust the Coast Guard if they're obligated to choose a plan under international law. That means almost 600 because they say they don't care about Congress and they link to indigenous people. Don't know the executive codified and durable. Fiat is another speech which return it. Let's just make it the course to the there's a level of we have to go to the juicy national the conference where it wasn't the future not only sexual to midwife infringement of rights that turns their offense improved durability. Key card is a joke. One liner about Obama. The counterbalance also reason is key. 264 planet duty as a function, a new duty that is needed in the plan. Or the counterbalance blood is vague. Question is often background. Now reject prefer functional competition against new F1 grounding to an skid race after the vast million units and large aspect necessary limited test people to absolute intrinsic expresses versus large African deficits to plan soft free tetra shuffle. Jewish state words for British and beyond the sense of restore management plan in different languages as our simplification will be new. Strike it now. No abuse one strategy. Other purpose of planning checks because you choose the plan's words through losure. It's limited plus net benefits unleash manure impactors through new objectivity. They can't solve because it includes function lacks an impact. Since it's subjective 2EC5 net versus basically drop magnitude correlation with on every axis risk. Public trust in judiciary. Increase space for functional versus pandemics. Clearly on line tree wars refugee. Penetration terrorism. Cool effect overwhelm style. Cool the species 2EC are sorted. No spillover but drop carded evidence. UE Samantha view. The court is just another political body that acts for the community every unprivileged decision. It trustfully judges after his own politics, not the law. Only the counter is fault because it overturns the decision by tradition. Submitting common law. Other things is solved by error. And the country is lacks a word. It's relevant because the arguments that U.S. initiating trade wars in the Constitution break out. Make every racist where we can't cross anything because we dropped every terminal and it's existential.
Okay.
625.
Send.
Yes. Okay.
$458.
458. Okay.
Can you guys want to think the right Next.
Yep.
Is there a doc?
There is a doc in the center. Okay. Okay. You're here at 458. Okay. 1 hour sent. Everyone's good for order.
Don't have it yet.
Yeah, I don't have it, but I'm good for an order.
Okay. It's advantage, T, the review counterplan, then the Erie counterplan, then the Kafka.
Still don't have it.
Let me make sure. I'm just going to resend. Okay, I just resent.
Okay.
All right, I got it.
No.
Jimmy doesn't have it.
No, he said he's downloading.
Okay.
No.
Sorry, Jimmy.
All right. Whenever Jimmy's good, I'm good.
So I think I should be fine for now.
I'm gonna keep this timer.
Okay, so Kendall's good?
I'm good.
Okay, Jimmy, you're good?
He's good.
Better.
He's better. Okay.
In my club says central fundamental change stability of the world via severe shift in global temperature, which causes wars in every region. BSRCs in the US because it's limited affects global ocean currents, ocean defenses apply. Says none of it's about the BSR. Other countries doesn't answer this because our evidence says the BSR within US territorial waters. T. Counter development, federal activity involved planning by public rights, utilization, water resource, key to predictable ground. 8. Their interpretation is about statutes solely by minerals, so obviously divided in such a way. Ours is about federal development, smooth resolution specific. Yours is about private development. Since that's all illustration words A, outweighs straight turns ground, C turns ground, are preserved agency actions, affirmative requirement, offering trade off, Trump outlash, article 2 is able to use, makes a host of counterplans, competitive, unique problems, they've addressed the scope, is solved by their term trade off for RCB is after release and more. Upper down to which takes on inherency, article pressures every act, most critical minerals are not already in loose to see no insert the chart, even if there's some potential outcome, it's still redundant, only are to preserve innovation, predictable ground, and justifies more unpredictable interrupts because which can't solve their offense. They concede impact, they concede the impact matters. They say it's bidirectional removal links to their interrupts and mineral action. Regards removal 2, there's no limits, explosion, chokers. 97 federal development gets you modification and application utilization disposal of resources. They say we don't meet our own counter interpretation. We do meet it because we do planning, which is something that 2, which is something that 2 and C conveniently didn't say. They say that we get infinite prep. They get the block, which outweighs that step. They say joint context and or disproves it. They say U.S. code. Ours is also federal. They say that it's in the context of Alaska. It's about oil and gas. It's relevant. Functional limits solve their offensive affirmative unique angles against the best of your Russian is politics, cooperation, Alaska counterplan, and the RDP international cooperation. The K was the best has been in a while. The word significant checks explosion in tiny cases. And so does limited federal solvency. Scouts gets their offense to inevitable to innovation. IP wasn't great, but everyone had new ideas and new next rounds and TUC can sleep out the year. Counterplan. Functional or durable fiat obviously solves their offense with the CFR definition. It proves that we include planning, which is specific enough, given all the 1AC clarification on how we solve it. CRA bad does not equate to Congress cannot do anything. And 1AC evidence proves that the congressional action in tandem with Coast Guard action ensures sufficient stuff to solve. Counterplan. New officer good, they provide innovation, inevitable, next strategy solves their offense, per the counterplan, the plan solves their correct, the plan is outcome, the counterplan, resulting in identical precedent, which means we can't do any of their due both deficits because they also set a result of the plan, so it links to them. It's legit, even if their definitions, all media policies, include a sequence set including the counterplan, so it's not intrinsic, includes the plan at the end of the counterplan sequence, which is one policy delays, get after just can shoot the counterplan, so the afflict delay everywhere, after violate procedural requirements, concede functional combination, solves their offense, only to do both deficits, result in the same counterplan, course of compensate, basic, control regulation, same order with the rest of same random piece, no doubt regulation from same proceeding clear sense of the proceeding early form would not have been implemented for judicial review. We hold the 76 and 70 same order for legal consensus that affects the word that not be used in the plan order being fixed at the time. They say it's intrinsic, it's not intrinsic, determined by mandates, adding new sequences is not intrinsic, it's not policy mandates, it's specification of how it occurs, specification is not intrinsic. Since the process the counterplan plan both includes step, its fact is intrinsic, left plan plus counterplan because they specify that's also logical. They say no text reduce the counterplan plan. We don't need text because it was test combination, not added to you can't check, it's perfectly clear what it did. They say it's actually intrinsic, it's not, or it's irrelevant because we concede a functional combination. Full statutory codification is key. OTM planning has failed in the past because presidential directives were legally unstable and thus been overturned by future administration. The counterplan ensures the same because it's only court action, and the durable result of that would be executive action, not congressional action, which is what old 1AC evidence says is key. Obviously cannot solve any of the net benefit. If they're right about the reasons that old is bad to be a judicial independence is happening, the status quo counterplan cannot overwhelm a judiciary in other countries. Does solve because their impact on is just a shitty laundry list that says judiciary good, which means they cannot solve it. Other branches certainly solve, and inevitably judiciary exists. See politics, safety development of the art includes the activity of Article 14, developing the art major form BTU govs, DOI, exploration, and development of the art specific standard call for definite policy. Result means to declare a vote that 3.7 again following members class that 3.7 usage means anybody exercise function of government this without agencies that fall inside or increase the consequence of greater that's goals. One prefer, one is precision reflects empirics, art economy, federal policy, shape, pressure, limits, techniques, ground, from controversy, new office politics, that can ground. Okay. Framework of planners are ability to get the competitive knowledge, keep class planning, motivates education, and discussion of controversy with that creates better discussion, which is agnostic, it's all through backlash arguments, or out of minds is unpredictable. Since they're infinite global, might not be, and they delete off often they learn for joining. They see there's three theories, there's wrong, insert this, and there's subsets of economic theories which are not clearly defined. The two DAs clash link towards this because it better discussion enables us to solve some. They say representative reality, there's not a one-to-one correlation because what we do in here does not necessarily shape with that depth. What we do out there, they say the K is fair. A subpoint, functional limit solved, that was above. Say B subpoint, alternative cause of infinite nationality, and C subpoint are internally to fairness outweighs. The should definition is wrong. AC99 should describe something is desirable. They say that topic paper means that does not mean it's necessarily generic, says topic paper suggested. It's unpredictable. Permanent plan and non-usually incident of the all. It solves the all becomes the DIB hedge funds and oil extraction. That means it's certainly overwhelms like it can barely much smaller. They're all non can solve the all text percent. Every known knows what it means. Increase parenthesis, oxygen, increase aspirants to determine the credit. Determine if the plan increases as possible. Introduce plan folks. Plan was plans away their offense. Hyper testing is bad. Research like picks. They say must back we dispatch no impact on the spec to make it easier. They say carve out function answer on the other count. They say actually like functional combination conceded. They say development in terms of CFR answers this. Actually answers all their vagueness arguments that as well, because this is what planning includes. Root cause, wrong. 1, we pass tipping points. The alternative takes too long. 3, the alternative cannot solve it since no one is planning to try it out or impacts our way on probability, which you should prevent outweighs all their other stuff. The vagueness of it is above. Now, the alternative it cannot solve the case. They dropped every 2 AC warrant for what the alt cannot solve. The card we said was not actually a sustainability card, but rather an alt cannot solve card. This internal link to its alt solvency means they can't just win try it out on sustainable, because we go through as sustainable as possible. Only we have evidence about the ultra short-term scalability with the time frame. Signal cannot scale over the next decade to the degree needed to accelerate transformation due to acceptable challenges. And back lecture to life session with independent no mind session forward. They drop. So even if the alternative eventually results in some action, it doesn't result in planning immediately. And when they see evidences that everything bad is happening quickly, so it's tried out. It doesn't include planning. And they've also conceded the current Coast Guard authorities have unique relationships with indigenous agencies, which is necessary to solve the affirmative, which the alternative cannot solve.
How much we got? I think 6 minutes exactly, right? I'm sorry.
What do you think is the big swing answers?
Yes, I'll start.
Okay. All right, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Review counterclaim. Cap K. Erie counterclaim.
Review, cap, Erie.
Correct.
Okay. Good. Yeah.
All right, panel good.
This is across the 1 year to not just find new answer to the blocks of the 1 year is quote banned from answering this because the 2C dropped it. Uncertainty to solvency classes have since everything could be overturned by the CRA. That freaks out indigenous people since they think that the plan could be overturned. They won't offer input. Strike Gerbil Fiat. When is he tax and presumption and the 2C dropped it? Block made the logical concession and gave multiple reasons for no new answers that they dropped. Also conceded that Gerbil Fiat worsened solvency so they can't Fiat. The CRA literally doesn't exist, which means that any policy could theoretically still be overturned. That means that assigned zero is the case. As it's deficit, it means that our counterplan and it means that the counterplan is a net benefit of solves better because they drop solvencies often, so there's no net benefit to the perm. Now Capgate conceded, can project the argument on the team conceded the perms now can also concede capitalism is sustainable that takes out the impact on the case because it means that innovation is self-correcting. Zero environmental impacts now concede the full scope of the card that they extended with zero environmental impacts. Now the Erie counterplan GBN really messed up. It's trying to hide judicial legitimacy, solves extinction from climate pandemics, AI, and nuclear war. Each of these were flagged as inevitable impacts. Then the counterplan is key to solve, so it's a net bout of presumption that outweighs on magnitude, and it solves the case. The Supreme Court finds general common law includes a duty for ocean development with natives. Now, do the counterplan, then the plan is fully intrinsic. One text, they did not send one, which means it's impossible to generate a deficit that's separate from functional competition because it's impossible to know if it's functionally intrinsic at all. Text cannot be implied. They could have added the word then and included an entirely new policy in the middle or added new random functions altogether. Sending out a text, it's key to testing a prerequisite to evaluating the perm and generating offense. Two, function, framing issue, even if the plan or the counterplan could be individually related. Adding a sequence between the two is fully intrinsic. It does not specify less. Think about it this way. Do the counterplan and the app. That's an additional condition upon the plan before it gets completed, which is an additional mandate. Added from the counterplan. AppGround was doing the 1 year just fine. New answer sequencing perms are bad. They delete all process counterplan generics. And NetGround, since apps could always get new additional sequences, but there's no offense. Drop the defense from other issues. They can go for text in a vacuum, research other impact turns in the literature, etc., which all checks their offense. They dropped app bias. Getting it into the block is offset by every standard on do the counterplan apps. Can codify the ask and mine mineral resources or develop one indigenous village bidirectionally with first class speech and making the counterplan a necessary remedy. 3, links to that benefit framing issue. This is not just a counterplan that results in the plan. It's one that picks out of domestic law, which means that doing the plan later has a domestic law override the international law. Think about it this way: if there's both a statutory provision and a common law provision that is evaluated for the same policy, then it means the courts will defer to the statutory provision because that's all they know. And that was all the cards that we read on Dubo. They say courts 1 new in the 1 AR. The choice did not say predictability, so strike it. 2, irrelevant. This is akin to the judge saying conduct is valid. There's no basis for debate where perms are tested based on the mandates of different advocacies. This also means that our debatability justification outweighs since both sides are forwarding artificial standards. Plan plus is 0 because the sequence is fully intrinsic. Drop every card from Dubo through why that matters to renders the court opinion moot, making solvency and precedent impossible. Now the deficit is literally 0. The drop both 1 AR straight turns. 1, Coast Guard. The threshold set in 2 crossing so that the Coast Guard cooperates. 0 warrants was given for why the statute is key, and GBN's cards are terrible. And 1 in our Mercinger evidence says that it results in a binding codification at the agency level, making the policy effective and codified. 2, certainty. The Fraser card, this is the only way to resolve uncertainty. Importantly, they dropped the link. No one knows about statutory codification, and indigenous people don't care about Congress. The counterplan has the highest court announced the plan is a duty to indigenous communities, which is the highest level among all countries. Now they say, do the counterplan dropped it. The counterplan is not a federal law, it's a treaty law, not based on domestic law. We agree for some reason the app does not have to be Congress, but it must be domestic law. That's key to limits. Otherwise, Trump vague Trumpians can be codified treaties recite distinct common law jurisdiction, and that's a job standard. So the 1 year does not counter-define, making this jurisdictional. Now, the 1 year interest net benefit are genuinely zero, cannot solve anything. Like the word, the 1 year is new. The job that eerie is key. It's necessary to hinder bad decisions under interpretation, which calcifies unpopular decisions, which currently have no recourse and eliminates about public faith. Therefore, the court, as a legitimate institution, that perception seeps into every part of the judicial process, inserting hyper-partisan nominations unchecked. That guarantees the collapse of judicial review and independence altogether. That's here. There, they say shitty laundry list. All of our terminals are existential. Pandemics, trade wars, etc., all originate in the U.S. and our impact is existential. They link AMOC as a laundry list. So presumption, if true, the 1 year was very light on case events because and they dropped lots of reasons why they kind of why the app does not solve this impact. Just extended the impact to its presumption there too because it's super vague. There's nothing it won't be incorporated. This is just classic noble savagery. The myth that they cannot solve things via just incorporating all TK into the plan. It doesn't incorporate better AMOC. Also, AMOC is broadly resilient because they've dropped cards that says that the ocean currents have rebounded, and studies that say that other or there's other emissions that would make it inevitable, which means there's no impact to this that is external for the counterpart.
1 AR basically dropped net benefit. Everything in the 2 year has to be fully new.
Yeah, it's chart I neg for most of
And
the
also, most importantly, do both deficit apply in this case because the counterpart doesn't resolve no plan. It's a pick out domestic law.
Yeah, do both deficit applies because it's a
1 year
pick
had
out
0
domestic
words.
law.
Joe does not get anything new.
What Jimmy said.
450. 450.
Also do the deficit.
No, this is my decision. Literally deliberation. So as long as there's like no text, they come like other constructive steps. Just wait a minute for myself. Okay.
Order is case, the review counterplan, the cap K, the Erie counterplan.
We are good.
Okay. Is anyone? One sec. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Me too. You good? All right.
This debate was already over after that terrible block vote with 0 innovative positions, none of them answering the AFIT is the finals of the TOC. You should have high threshold for making arguments that literally say nothing, have zero value or education. AMOC disruption causing tension through extreme weather events, thermal instability causing massive planetary scale disaster which destroy global ecosystems and food chains necessary for humanity survival. Air app, all their data that they cite and the course that they have extended. Do not assume AMOC disruption, do not assume the BSR. All the two arguments are new, so you should strike them off your flow. Their data incoherent, doesn't assume physics, thresholds, and everything. The threshold for AF solvency and impact needs to be literally 0.001% repeating because they have no unique offense that is predicated off of case being low, and we have a program that solves literally 100% of their offense with zero solvency deficit. So if we win theoretical justification, you know that it must jurisdictionally outweigh the counterplay because they have nothing. The AF solves all this traditional knowledge stuff. Itself is wrong. Traditional knowledge ensures sustainable solution to the collapse of AMOC. The AF solves traditional knowledge implementation for oceanic planning because the indigenous people have a unique relationship with their environment and can implement solutions to stop the Bering Sea crisis, baroclinic instability, and saltwater. We have extended it every speech that the Coast Guard is a boundary agent that takes their knowledge and effectively implements it throughout the Bering Strait. So obviously, we have knocked up this argument, making a solvency deficit and implicating how the AF solves answers the solvency deficit on case. The durable fiat also solves it. We can ensure the planning is key. We have extended the ocean planning. We extended ocean planning solves in every single flow. The noble sandwich thesis is wrong. Obviously, we have run an internal that indigenous people actually solve the environment, and the threshold. Remember, the threshold for solvency is 0.001%. So since I have extended solvency, we're going to win the debate. The reverse review counterplan. This offense is literally zero. The 2AC said durable fiat on this counterplan, so it's not a new answer. Don't end my career on this stupid argument. Any doubt means that you've asked, since we have a program that solves the entirety of the counterplan. Drop definition of development means that with the AFTOS planning, which is specified enough to solve the counterplan, CRA bad. Doesn't mean that Congress doesn't do anything. We've extended solvency and certainty in every flow. The AFT is a key boundary agent that ensures statutory codification. Indigenous people not knowing what Congress does doesn't mean anything. It's still statutory codified. The internal impacts the executive switching from the AFT to the switching from year to year because of different codifications. Not indigenous people actually knowing that it's statutory codified. Extended certainty key. And AFT is zero in every speech. The cap K, we did not say cap sustainable. So in the 1 year, and we've conceded that cap wasn't unsustainable, so they cannot say this anymore. That Erie counterplan. We have 2 routes to victory, and we only need to win one. One is intrinsic. Specification is not all. Policies include a sequence of steps. So for example, the AFS would need to include bills starting in the committee that goes to congressional for a vote, etc. That's how it. That means including the counterplan at the end of the very sequence step isn't intrinsic, so the counterplan includes an element of sequencing, and so does the perm. That doesn't add a new sequence. The plan includes multiple elements of a sequence, and so does the counterplan, including the plan at the end of the counterplan. It's a new sequence. This is asinine. It eliminates perm to both, since that would theoretically also include new sequences. They said you should air F. 1 error calls specific sequential actions are legally interpreted as a single action if it arises from the same interrelated proceedings. This is obviously the permutation since the plan and implementation occurs because the counterplan process as a direct outcome. Prefer legal consensus over analytical assertions. 2. Drop the should definition. Makes that and the should immediately makes acting impossible or offense outweighs. That means that requiring policy to be immediate is solely unsubstantiated by literature and completely arbitrary. It's not intrinsic because the plan could have always been to specific times, and should is never intrinsic. It's also not severance because there's nothing to sever with it. Should was never intrinsic, so it doesn't answer and any new sequences policies is sequencing. This stuff about no perm text is raw and dropped from the cap K that everyone knows what it means. Perms are just a test of competition, not advocacy. So if you know that what the perm means, perm to the counterplan, if perm to the counterplan, then the plan, then you should still vote for it because it's still easy to evaluate. The perm text for the drop that the actual printed perm text for the counterplan is the text of the plan and the text of the counterplan. The word then is just a modifier that specifies how you should view that perm. The actual perm text is the plan and the counterplan, which means that it's easy to evaluate. Do not give them any novelty to end our arguments. Separate the textual function. Oh, they said included the word then. Obviously, the answer above, you can still evaluate it. We conceded functional competition, which solves all of its perm deficits is zero domestic thickness. Not how this works. The way that law works is when the federal government signs a treaty, we have to do domestic law to comply. So this is exactly what the perm would be. One of your arguments says that the counterplan solvency proves that the perm can link is obviously sufficient because no one perceives this minor legal distinction, which is especially relevant given that their impact is about trust and judiciary. The counterplan solves nothing. Statutory codification is key. Want to see evidence is great when agencies are relying forced to implement something, they constantly flip-flop with presidential administration proven empirically. So we're not saying that your evidence is bad when put it, especially given that we see by these cards on this, the court solves this wrong. Court tells the agency to do it. The problem is that the agency interpretation can shift with presidential administration. So court signal strong doesn't matter since agencies will always change what this interpretation means. Zero insolvency. We have never said the U.S. Coast Guard alone is key, and narratives don't know. It's just wrong since they don't perceive agency flip-flop, and I think it's bad. The net benefit zero. Obviously, all causes judicial legitimacy is bad for other reasons, since they can't solve court head scandals like this every week. App impacts are on laundry list, but theirs are, since there's no articulate explanation that you are any next speech for court legitimacy just to solve pandemics or whatever. Really important. Drop that they have terms and net benefits since EMOC collapse make global instability inevitable, making an independent judiciary impossible. Internal prove that they cannot solve the case. So also drop that the structure of the judiciary inevitably checks their impact because it ensures that there's some extent of separation between actual judiciary and the other countries. Not solve their card isn't unique to the U.S. and the U.S. modeling wrong and unwarranted. It cannot be tried die because we have a tribe where that is the perm. If we win, the perm is legitimate. We obviously would debate because it solves 100% of the counterfeit.
Yeah, I got it.
No, which two more? Just.
Thanks,
I'll go inside.
F-doc set.
Oh, good.
Nick Carterson. Hey judges, want to make sure y'all know y'all got 25 minutes. Just want to make sure it's 25 minutes to detail. 25 minutes.
Sorry, what did he tell me it's called? Dustin 2?
It's Dustin too.
Y'all crazy with this. Dustin.
He's the policy coach.
Dustin body coach.
Dustin wants the K coach.
Dustin body coach is crazy. It's the smile, creepy too.
What? Well, they're backwards, so.
What it is, what it says is less important than what it is.
Well, we're like.
Give me a second. Let me read that.
It's actually kind of fun.
Doesn't matter.
it's the last day of the season.
I don't know. There's something I've never actually looked at like a 1AC written on paper. There's something really crisp about it. I really like it.
You never do anything like that.
No, but like not a 1AC that looked like this. You know, like not one that like the only 1ACs I've ever created on paper were 1ACs that were like 2012 crusty formatting, not like 2026 like pristine formatting.
So,
But it really hurts from navigating the New York deck. This is 2K. This is the 1AC.
yeah.
What the character chart? Wait, give me a second. Give me 1 second, man. Halfway through.
I went back in the day and use the 1A. You ain't get to look at the 1AC. It's what had process.
I'm curious. I wanted to see what the 1AC is.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure AD wasn't.
In college I was. In high school I was a 2A.
Well, question.
No.
Yes, no.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant. All yours, Mr. Redman.
All right. What are your thoughts? Good, bad, or nothing?
I like this.
Good?
Yeah.
That's certainly nothing heavily. There wasn't. Go ahead. It's interesting. But we did precipitate it. We didn't go for the thing we wanted to go with.
I see how.
Russ is hoping that's not but I think we went for the right choice with us not.
I wasn't watching the round, but two of the coaches who were watching YouTube and said that it seemed like a good idea. I just wasn't sure what it was TK stuff. I've never had it that happen.
Yeah,
Believe me, you're never doubting
me.
Got this.
Well, I think the other part is that like then the kiddos. So I think that's kind of a smart thing. Sometimes you ever wish that you ever wish that it was a third part of the negative block for them. Talk about something else. You know, staring. Just looking over. Thank you, buddy. You're back.
Did you look at the one you said? Yeah. Here, Shadi. Read it at your leisure. Oh. We're talking about yeah.
They're trying Trump's executive power, are they?
No, it's about me.
Do we contest both? Well, that's fine. Do we contest? Yeah, headphones. Yeah. Let's see this one.
onesie was pick.
What did I say?
That's
I haven't.
that's
This is my first Monday at the TC, man.
that's one.
As a coach or a competitor.
I like.
Oh, shit.
No, this was skipped. Alright. Just to suck too.
That was the last one.
No, I did not read this. I did not read this.
We didn't. Drink Article 2. Why not, bro?
Did not matter for this. We're not going for justifications, but we're going for this one.
We see one.
We going for this one.
We see one.
Oh, this doesn't have.
I don't know, Max. If my Jake's go to the answers, maybe.
Oh,
Pretty large.
this is like nothing.
Alright, how much did you do?
You said what's it? So this was on. This was on. This was on. This was on.
Didn't really look so good.
He
You
did.
just had a full 2 and already said this song.
This one.
Oh, we did the other.
I think like the tech is just insane class. The flow is mad for lots of reasons.
But hey,
Styles. That's he was listening. Are you logged in on
see.
I'm logged in on. Yeah, that's you. You wrote on my phone.
You say what down?
Okay, click this one. Wait.
History will remain tonight. Get beyond. My personal take on this now is just safe. It's quite good, especially against you. You can do it with people that you feel real peaceful. So, respect. Yes, that's what you want. Yes, this is true. That's all you can do. I agree. His count is probably one. Right? You guys go.
They know. Coaches check us out. I think Gavin will come back.
Oh, did Alex?
Sorry, Jimmy got me Gavin.
I don't know.
So I'll be back there.
Yes.
Do you have anywhere you're going to school yet? That's true. Probably moves the needle a little bit for AJ. Probably helps a little bit. Good thing. That's a good observation. If you came full circle.
Yeah. Where you want to go?
Oh.
Where you want to go? Where?
He knows you want to go blue. He knows that's what he wants. It's a good place. He knows $1 range.
I heard you want to join this day.
Hold on. Hold on now, Coach Steve. Hold on now, Coach.
You can get the double. You can get the double wing. And money get judged by my mom. Coached by my mom.
I didn't know that. Was it his line?
Sorry,
Nice.
yes.
You know? I work for it.
Better babies than in life.
It's cool.
It was the weirdest moment when I judge this motherfucker in a walk for and get judged by his mom in 10 minutes. Like, I'm sorry to judge my son.
You always so judge me at waffles, so. I mean, I was the only person who knew what debate was. You know, whoever I was debating with, probably.
Everyone's texting you, man. I see you in live stream.
She was texting me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yo,
It's still going.
That's fine. Yeah, it's me. Probably. I mean, we're not saying anything crazy. Not saying anything crazy. Y'all want to be my thank you speech. Oh,
I kind of cried a little bit about it, actually.
Yeah, that was sweet.
I don't care about this control of shade. Oh yeah. So I got what I got for y'all, bro. That's me, bro. Jelly, the package from the Whoppers and Reach. J-Wop. I know J-Wop got scared when you didn't say him in coaches, man. I know he thought you forgot him. You got him in the runs. You're texting me, see, should get off the street. Oh, he's at home. Dude, let's look at from you, right? No, we're not. All right,
Me too.
Wait, I don't have some of this.
We called you later. Thanks for
Yeah.
Sit down.
It's plugged in.
See the extension. Unless I'm really dumb.
Oh, you were supposed to wait for Devon.
Yeah, wait for Devon before you.
The tournament's gonna do it. Devon's gonna do it.
All right, we have all three judges. We have both teams. All right, congratulations on making it to the 2026 policy debate final round of the Tournament of Champions. On a unanimous decision, the winner is the negative from Montgomery Bell.
Just want to start off by saying it's been great judging y'all. Really enjoy it. You can tell the amount you put in. Really like talking to you. You're great debaters. Love judging you too. Really time efficient. Just so good. Like I don't know what else to say. Like you're way better than me last year. Didn't want to debate you that much. No, this was a great debate. You all should be really proud of yourselves for getting this far. Okay. So I thought the counterplan solved case and avoided two net benefits. One is judicial legitimacy, climate change, pandemics, nuke war, AI. Second is presumption of CRA. The plan could get overturned. This was tagged in the 1 and C. I don't have the 2AC explicitly responding to this because I don't have durable fiat on this. But even if I do give you that, I thought the 2NR said durable fiat makes it less predictable because you'd have to fiat the disappearance of the CRA. And even if this is probably not the correct interpretation of durable fiat, I don't have an explicit answer. So doesn't zero the case because Congress is not hampered from all action, but it's linear, and I think the counterplan solves comparatively better. Perm, I used offense defense. So it wasn't try or die for me because you obviously have the perm and you have absol's net benefit, but the net benefit was so much higher than the deficit. To me, the deficit to the perm seemed pretty intuitive. The 2NR says that it would collapse counterplan precedent because the plan would re-federalize the obligation. So even if SCOTUS rules the duty comes from general common law, Congress then acting on it after would domestically signal that federal law, not general common law, is the operative source. The counterplan's overturning value depends on the obligation staying grounded in general common law. The NAG has cards here saying that common law would be dismissed and courts will default to the plan's positive law right. So again, not try or die. There's some semblance of net benefit defense, but I think, again, net benefit is higher. Competition I can get into later, but I also concluded neg on that, but it's not as important. Deficit, I thought was near zero. So the affirmative statutory codification argument is pretty unpersuasive. So the way I understand the counterplan, under Erie, federal courts abolish common law. The counterplan has SCOTUS undo that, which rules that the duty to develop the Bering Strait derives from common law, which would exist independent of Congress entirely. That's not a weaker mandate than statute. It's way stronger, it's categorically different, and it's more durable. It does not need congressional reauthorization. It cannot be gutted by agency flip-flop, which is your internal link. And I'm not even sure how agency flip-flop ties into any impact of the case. And it would bind all federal action through sovereign obligation under ILAW. So SCOTUS ruling is actually harder to escape than a congressional directive because agencies cannot just reinsert their mandate to avoid it. The 2AR also dropped the 2NR argument that no one tracks or cares about statutory conditions or responds to Congress, but everyone will respond when the highest law of the land announces binding legal duty. I also thought some spillover stuff applied here, which I can do the net benefit now. To me, this is near 100. I have the 2EC saying like literally nothing here, and like it was very light on the counterplan, maybe 10 seconds total, but maybe you can cross-play some stuff. But thought the 1AR was really new and the 2NR was really good about why to strike all of that. So ERIE is key under new interpretation to calcify unpopular decisions. It would restore public faith, and it would, quote, seep into every part of the judicial process and prevent collapse or review and everything altogether. I thought AF cannot solve. So the 2NR answers this. It says the 1AR was too vague and that it's a distinct scenario. To me, the AF might solve better. I mean, the counterplan might solve better because the impact on the laundry list might access some case impacts, but the counterplan solves some more impacts other than that. So it makes me more confident in that benefit really high ballot. There's also generic cuts to the case, like you cannot possibly incorporate all traditional knowledge into the plan, ocean currents have rebounded, or other emissions make it inevitable. So this is helpful when evaluating the risk of the deficit.
I can go next. I think you all are fantastic. I've debated you so many times, probably 5 or 6 times when you all were sophomores and I was a senior. You all were amazing then, you all are amazing now. Seeing your growth has been really cool. You all are fastest, technical, clearest debaters on the circuit. The strategies and the negative have been amazing to see all throughout the year. I thought the 1AR in this debate was particularly amazing, and you all should be incredibly proud of a great season. I didn't think presumption on the reverse review counterplan was as persuasive as Gadam. I thought I did have the 2AC saying durable fiat solves presumption, not tied to any specific argument, but that it solves presumption. And that the development of definition of planning meant that the plan still resulted in some certain action that is able to mitigate the risk that indigenous tribes don't contribute their knowledge to the plan's process because indigenous people trust statutory codification, which the plan certainly does independent of the CRA. I did think that moving to the counterplan now, I thought the permutation was worse than the counterplan alone. It certainly links to do both answers. Everything that Gadam says, I sort of agree with here. The second that the perm is done, it elevates statutory law over common law, which means that there's no spillover for the internal net benefit. I didn't really evaluate theory because once I determined the perm was substantively not solvent, I didn't really have to determine the perm would be a worse option than the counterplan alone. The net benefit I thought was high and pretty unmitigated given the general newness of the 1AR. I do agree with the 2NR that a lot of the 1AR was new, and I don't think the 2AR does a good job in trying to justify the 1AR new responses to the internal net benefit. The few responses that might have been persuasive was that it was a laundry list, but the AF impact is also laundry listy, and the neg isolates some specific impacts that the AF doesn't really get to solve, like pandemics and trade wars, which I don't think there's a specific 2AR explanation for how you access. And then I agree with Gadam that the counterplan solves the statutory codification and agency flip-flopping style deficits because the counterplan creates a binding interpretation of common law that applies to all federal actors, and the neg evidence is good at explaining why damages would specifically compel agencies and all federal actors to comply with the counterplan, which would be comparatively more certain and durable than the plan alone.
Yeah, I can't believe it's the first time I got to judge you guys, but everything in this debate was quite incredible. I would have died having to give that 1AR. I couldn't have been able to give that 2NC because I'm slow as balls. And we are having to answer all that. I mean, you did a great job. But everyone did a great job on this day, and looking forward to see what you all have in the future for college debate reasons, or if you're not, then it's still going to be great. I was a little bit in between the other two. I thought the solvency takeout was what put me over the edge because the 2AC and the 1AR and the 2AR do say durable fiat, but we both agreed at certain times about perception. And the negatives argument is that the existence of the CRA means that in any time and place, an executive action can be overturned. I thought that this argument doesn't make like as much truthful sense, but I don't have the sufficient 1AR, 2AR response to like answer the existence of the CIA argument, even if you do get to durably fiat the plan. I can talk more about this if you want to, but on counterplan solvency, I thought it was lower because the negative didn't. A lot of the things they said about law, I didn't have in the 2NR. I thought like we just went on asserting like a bunch of things about forcing Coast Guard involvement, and if you sat on that, maybe explain for 20 seconds, it would be higher on solvency, and I concluded the same with her.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.